Hi guys, my name is Olivia, and today I will be talking about why the voting age should not be lowered to 16. Sorry about the background and the car noises, but I'm at my cousin's house with a bunch of family, and this is like the only quiet space I could find without my little cousins running around like making noise. So if it's too loud, I'm sorry. I'm going to try to talk as loud as I can, but let's get going. So because of what is taking place in the 2020 election and what has been discussed among many people, many American citizens are trying to get the voting age changed to 16 years old. Today, I will explain why I think the voting age should stay the same as it has been for the past 55 years. One of the reasons that the age limit for voting should stay the same is supported in the following article. Samuel Olson stated in an article on the News Record website that, according to Annenberg Public Policy Center, 36% of all American adults can name 3 branches of government. Most of these adults have graduated high school. So now we're going to let high schoolers, the majority who are 2 years away from receiving the same education as these uniformed adults, have the right to vote. Even though most high school students are learning about politics in their history classes, it does not mean they will become interested in politics as adults. This generation is most influenced by their peers and the social media platforms that they take part in. It is concerning that social media influences political views more than what is learned in the classroom. In addition, Annalise Wunderlich commented that some critics say that 16 years old isn't mature enough to have enough life experience. After all, most high schoolers are legally required to attend school and generally dependent on their family for food, clothing, and shelter. Most 16-year-olds don't even know how to cook for themselves, so we're just going to let them make a choice in an election that costs our country? No. In an article on the Headcount website, the author argued that minors, according to current laws, are not mature enough to make and take part in consuming alcohol, tobacco, or other products, make important content-based decisions. In a sense, voting any different. Most high schoolers are under the age of 18. Most of them have a legal guardian. If we would change the voting age to 16, that would not make the sense because when you turn 18, you can buy your own house and rent your own apartment, go get a tattoo or piercing without parental consent, make your own medical decisions, and many more. If we change the voting age to 16, we should change all of the laws to equal out the law that 16-year-olds can vote. In many states, 16-year-olds can drive and get a job. They must also pay taxes on their earnings. But what's one thing that most of them are not allowed to do? Well, that's vote. That's because the 26th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution sets the voting age to 18. Although teens are interested and engaged in politics right now, they deserve a say at the polls, supporters of lowering the voting age say. Countless young people nationwide are joining protests, contacting the lawmakers, and sharing their views on social media about their thoughts on the voting age. And in my opinion, just because teens participate in protests does not mean they are ready to cast ballots, which is why many critics of lowering the voting age say that. There are many reasons the voting age should be lowered to 16, and that is because of immature choices. Millennials don't really care, and they're still maturing and have not learned enough through education as well as experience to make fully informed decisions. The turnout of what happens when they vote, and the rights of 16-year-olds are not as supported. Teens have only just got out into the world into their own responsible ages. They need some time to know how it's run, if it should be different or it should be changed. They can't just vote or it won't come fair, as they may not know how the world is being run by the government at the time. Even if they are able to join the armed forces, it's a voluntary job. You don't need a certain responsibility to join the forces. It's simply to serve your country. Starting a class around this may disrupt education of other important subjects. They have to choose or do. It's a whole section of learning in which is unnecessary to have on your shoulders at the time. Allowing young people to vote will not result in them suddenly taking interest in political parties and elections. On the whole, young people are concerned with specific causes and issues. Therefore, they are politically active in other ways, going on protests and signing petitions. Never have I ever heard of any of my friends say that their feelings are being hurt by any political information. We hear 16 to 17-year-olds complain about everything imaginable except for when it comes to politics. I don't believe that lowering the voting age to 16 would be appropriate. I don't believe that there is any universal age where we can guarantee that everyone in a group is mature and responsible to vote. Some people grow up fast and would take a responsibility to vote in age seriously, and isn't the only part about current maturity. However, we do know that we are more likely to make a unwise decision at ages young as 16. A lot of states refuse selling tobacco products to anyone less than 21 years old. While I think this is mainly implemented to keep those products out of the hands of younger children, it has also contributed to the fact that most people don't fully develop until they are well into their 20s. This is also taken into account when it comes to the legal age to consume alcohol in the United States. You have to be 21, which shows that the government does not put a lot of trust in the 18-year-old's ability to drink responsibly. We can't gamble until we're 21, and most places don't even let you rent a car until you're 25. So if the government doesn't trust you to drink or gamble or rent a car at 18, I don't think they should be striving to let any ages vote younger than 18. The reason why we start calling people adults at 18 or 19 years old is because they're out of high school and their traditional education is finished. Whether they go to college or not, they typically make life decisions that they wouldn't have to be able to make at 16 or 17 years old. If kindergarten through 12th grade education typically ended at 20, that's when society would consider us adults. On a personal note, being a youth that had just barely turned 18, my thoughts on juveniles being able to vote is kind of biased. I don't believe they should be able to vote before they are 18 because they're influenced by their parents until at least that age. If they were able to vote, their decisions would not be put at their own, but would reflect on the beliefs of their parents. People under 18 also have no exposure to any different parties and cannot comprehend the beliefs that each party has. On the other hand, I don't think the voting age should be raised to 21 either. The age of our generation not voting then might just have to be 21 instead of 18. My belief is that it is important for the new generation to start voting. As for me, I believe the voting age should stay 18 rather than being lowered or raised. In many states, 16-year-olds can drive and get a job. They must pay taxes on their earnings, but what's one thing most of them are not allowed to do? Vote. So, let's all come together and make a decision to ensure that the voting age stays 18, like it has been for the past 55 years. Thank you.